defense sacked Derek Carr 4 times. The win pulled the Chargers into a 3-way tie for first place in the AFC West. Joined now by Fox NFL analyst Mark Sanchez. But Acho, my Chargers and Justin Herbert, legit contenders.
Team issue, Soup?
It is.
Wow.
You like that? You like that? Thank you, Mr. Spanos. Thank you. And for the...
You look better today than you did at the game yesterday. Can you believe my dog didn't even get dressed up for his team? Like, I ain't never been to a Chargers game. I go out there, I'm fresh. They deserve my respect. They deserve I'm in the leather jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Your respect.
My dog Marcellus.
I mean, it's blue.
I mean,
here's my only issue is when somebody goes to like a Raiders and Chargers game and they wear like a Mahomes jersey. I'm like,
What are you doing?
You out of place.
either go like gray and like no colors and no alliance, but don't do like I don't know.
Thank you. And that's what I did. No colors, no alliance.
Fashionista at the game.
I was being an ally to being fresh. I digress. Justin Herbert and the Chargers legit. Yes. And no. They're legit contenders because Justin Herbert is a legit dude. As long as Joey Bosa and that pass rush be going, Chargers are going to be very hard to stop.
I'm listening.
I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be so honest with y'all, I'm going to tell on myself. It's hard to watch a game in the stadium. It's the most counterintuitive thing you may have ever heard in your life.
I know.
It is incredibly hard to watch a game in a stadium.
I'm with you.
I feel like I watched the whole game and saw none of it.
Yes.
Real talk.
Yes.
But what I did see is big plays. Why? Because the whole crowd would erupt. And the whole crowd would erupt. I'm like, oh, is that Bosa again? Is that Herbert? Another beautiful pass? Herbert missed, I want to say, 2 times yesterday. We all know the glaring one time he missed, and he missed one other big throw that may have gone for a touchdown. Outside of that, Herbert was phenomenal, but let's get to the real crux of the take is this. The Chargers aren't legit contenders, and this isn't a hot take, because historically, you have to take your lumps before you get to the top. Sanchez should be able to assess and co-sign this, but I'm going somewhere, y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes, he had to lose to Tom Brady before he could ever go to the Super Bowl and win one. Lamar Jackson, he had to lose a couple playoff games before he could win one. Josh Allen, he had to catch an L in the playoffs before he could win one. Joe Flacco, he had to catch 5 playoff L's before he could win a Super Bowl. Our former teammate Nick Foles, we went to the playoffs, we lost to the Saints in 2013, but 4 years later going back to the playoffs and running a hot streak and winning a Super Bowl. Historically, everybody has had to take their L's. My dog, Mark Sanchez, you instantly go to the conference championship game. You go back to the conference championship game. I assume had you gone back, y'all probably would have won one. But I think that Herbert would have to be the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to not have to take a lump before winning, and it's impossible.
Well, Tom Brady.
What? I thought
It's
about
happened.
that.
It's
I was like,
rare.
what about Tom Brady? He sat, and that is the lump. Tom Brady sat for a year, and that was the learning period. Even Ben Roethlisberger, I believe they lost in the division round before going back and winning a Super Bowl the second year. Russell Wilson, he had to lose in the playoffs to the Atlanta Falcons after beating Robert Griffin in Washington, Redskins at the time, football team now, before going and winning his Super Bowl. So Herbert and your Chargers, they beast. But no quarterback ever has gotten the success before putting in that playoff work.
I think Marino might have been one of the ones to go to didn't he go to Super Bowl rookie and lost?
Yep.
Okay,
lost.
so
Never go again.
Define contender. Does that mean like wild card? Does that mean win the division? Does that mean make the playoffs?
Playoffs with noise.
Yes, playoff with noise. Playoffs with noise.
I'm saying all the way. I think
Yes.
they're a lock for the wild card. I think they're going to make a serious run at winning this division. And I know, call me crazy, but they've already been to Arrowhead. Okay? He's already balled out in Arrowhead. This kid, look at some of these stats. 8 games with multiple passing touchdowns since the beginning of last year.
Great.
The only other guys, you might have heard of them. Number 12 for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Number 15 for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. And number 12, formerly of the New England Patriots and now with the Bucks. Those are the only guys. If he's in those categories at this age, bro, the sky's the limit. And on the big stage, I'm not worried about him at all. He's got that stoic look to him with just enough energy, so I don't think he's like apathetic and doesn't care. He's got just enough juice to get him there. And, you know, some nerdy guys can't like get excited and the team rallies around. He's got it all. He's a total nerd biology major, but you put him on the field, he's a dog.
He's a dude.
Right?
And so I think the most important thing for a young kid like this is he understands what can win you games, but more importantly, he knows what loses you games.
Talk about it.
He gets rid of the ball quickly. He takes big hits, pops right back up. He's a big sucker now. This dude's massive. Put on this earth to drop dimes at the quarterback position. Okay, this guy's a special, special player. Here's my only other reason for saying these guys are going to make a serious run. Brandon Staley. That defense
There you go.
Everybody fits, and Derwin James is back. He wears the green dot for a reason. He got beat on one play yesterday. One play last night. After that, bro, he was lights out. Derwin James is for real, and he's been gone for 2 years, so we haven't talked about him. But number 3 for the Bull, or 33 for the Bolts,
I like that.
He's the real deal. I think Staley, Herbert, and Derwin James, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna make a serious run.
They save the best for last or the obvious for last because they're legit contenders. They're the best team in the AFC right now. Them, look at your face, and Baltimore. Those are the two teams in the AFC that I respect. Let's go down the records. If you don't believe me, I don't like your face right now. Chargers 3-1. Bills 3-1. Looking good, right? But I don't know about that. Ravens, Raiders, just smoked them. Browns, we'll see them this weekend, smoke. Bengals, Broncos, Chiefs, beat them. Titans. Like, who scares you? Bills? Ravens?
Chiefs still scare you.
They still scare you?
They're still legit. They're still legit.
Still legit, but we just played them, so they don't scare the Chargers. They may scare us in terms
I like
of
that. That's a good take.
Historically, they may scare us, but the Chargers, like, we're not scared of them. And they beat them last year. Mahomes sat. They beat them last year as well. Justin Herbert is the difference maker. Brandon Staley is coming into a perfect situation. He has an offense. He has receivers. He has running backs that are receivers in Austin Eckler, et cetera. And he has the quarterback. So once you have that, all you need to do is fix what they have on the defensive side. You don't think if Brandon Staley is doing his job? Ask the LA Rams how their defense looks now with the same players now at the bottom of the league in a lot of categories because he's fixed the defense. Now they're playing complementary football. It's just that simple. Now, in any climb, any ride, we know you need talent, you need perseverance, and you need luck. And last night, I know that luck is finally on our side because there was a damn lightning delay. And if you don't believe in God, you atheist, that's okay. The universe is on the side of the Chargers as well. They started that game late. I still was late to the game, even though they started the game late because the 405 is no punk to nobody. Get to the game, and I walk in, and I'm watching them perform. And I swear, I thought that the delay of the game was really for them to wait on that high school team to show up, modern day or something, to show up and play against the Chargers. That first half was a high school team playing against the Chargers. They totally obliterated an undefeated team. These Chargers are for real because they are balanced on both sides of the ball. Talk about Bosa. You talk about Derwin James. You talk about having the defensive coordinator. You got the quarterback you need. He's a prime-time player. All those things add up to legit contenders.
They are, and I'm not really taking anything away from them because I watched the Chargers. I was like, yo, in the NFL, and I talk to Sel about this all the time. I'm talking to you about this for the very first time. It's not just who can you beat, who are you capable of losing to? Some teams just, you're not capable of losing. Buccaneers, you roll them out there against the Jaguars, they're just not going to lose. It don't matter how bad it is, it's not going to lose. When I look at the Chargers, they're no longer capable of losing to bad teams. Remember last year, man, Chargers, Herbert was balling. 31 touchdowns, I think 10 picks. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was still a dude. But the Chargers were still out there losing one possession games to bad
one
teams.
possession, clock management
That's
issues.
it.
Just he had to learn a little bit.
He had to, and now he's learned a little bit, not being capable. But here's what we know about the AFC. Last year, I believe every team that made the playoffs was 11-5 or better. Are the Chargers any better than the Browns? I think they're all the same. Chargers and the Bills, I think they're the same. I think Chargers and the Ravens. I think any given Sunday, all those games will go 50-50. I just think the Chiefs are the one team that I'm still going to bet on, even if they play the Chargers. I understand the Chargers just beat them. Call me crazy, Acho. They just lost. I don't care.
It's just going to be an experience thing down the stretch. The Bills have been there a little bit, right? They're in the championship game.
Yes, sir.
If the Chargers got to go to, to Buffalo to go play in a championship game, in a divisional game, in the snow, that's going to be another experience that they're going to have to figure out and either get the notch on their belt or really learn
Let me ask you a question, Sanchez, real quick, because that is my point. My point is not that the Chargers are not contenders. My point is Justin Herbert has not taken his lumps yet before he can thrive. What was the difference for you mentally, your first conference championship game versus your second conference championship game?
And this sounds silly, but riding a bike, right? Once you've been there, you've been there. Once you've had the playoff game, you're like, oh, I know what to expect. I know what happens at the end of the season when now you don't have just your 15 reporters, but you got all the regional reporters. And when it just grows and grows and grows in your press conference. My first year, I was like, whoa, this is a lot bigger than I was expecting. But you just kind of hit those rungs on the ladder as you go. So you're right. Sometimes you can skip over a couple, but it's rare. So I understand where you're coming from. Those are all going to be notches that they have to, get in their belt. But I think with Staley, because of his demeanor, his defensive scheme, they just keep the lid on everything. When they played Kansas City, you're not going to beat us deep. You're going to have to do it 10 to 15 play drives consistently, and good luck. You're going to screw up before we do. That's how disciplined we are. So
it's not a hot take for me to look at the Kansas City Chiefs and be able to poke holes in them. They're living off of yesterday's news. They did it in the Super Bowl. Oh, my God. We had that conversation before the Super Bowl. They're going to score 30. They didn't score a touchdown. Now, this year, we're still talking about that high-powered offense, obviously, but they can't get teams off the field. They are 31st ranked in yards on defense and in points. You go against this Chargers team, and you are second to last on defense, you expect to beat